Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here. Welcome to the final cut. I've got a horror film for you today, and it's aptly called The Horror, brought to us by Jerry J. White III, which gives us the story of the Radmacher twins who head to their family home to close it up because they've suffered a tragedy that involved their parents. Well, while they're there closing up the home, they find out they're not alone, and a very extreme moment happens that involves the break-in. And we see how that event affects them, compiled on the event of their parents passing away. And we see how it affects the two twins differently, and how everything comes to a head, and how the fight and the struggle is still going on long after the threat has left them. Wow. Jerry J. White gives us an atmospheric, slow burn horror film that's not going to be for everyone, I will say that. And it was a little too slow for me, but I did enjoy the characters, namely the Isabel Rademacher and Malcolm Rademacher twins, the two main characters in here that the film centers around. Really enjoyed the difference between these two, but they did feel like they were a brother and sister twin pair. Callie Ott plays Isabel, and Raymond Creamer plays Malcolm, and I enjoyed the dynamic between these two. It felt like brother and sister. You could really feel how Isabel was trying to deal with these tragic events the best way she could, and also worrying about her brother, who was having a more difficult time dealing with these tragic events and had become obsessed, especially with a certain item. And it was interesting to see the dynamic between these two and see how one is trying to move on and the other one is kind of stuck in limbo because of things. And, it was an interesting character exploration. Again, not a whole lot of action going on in this film. There is the action part where we get to see kind of this break-in thing that happens between the two twins at their family home, and then how things kind of escalate at the very end, and you can kind of see it bubbling under the surface. And that was part of the great performance by Raymond, of this guy who is just this kind of creepy, dark guy. You could tell he was always like that, but things get heightened because of what he's witnessed and what he's done in that. So it is an interesting character exploration, little slower for my taste than I like, even for an atmospheric horror film. And it was just a bit predictable, I will say. But if you like a more atmospheric horror film, a film that's dealing more with the people than with the gore and the scares, then this film is for you. And I did like the conclusion of the film and how things played out there. I liked the direction they took that. I think it just took a little longer than it should have to get there. But again, that's just personal taste. So those out there looking for a more direct and in-your-face type of horror film, The Horror is not going to be for you. Those who like a more creepy, atmospheric, character exploration type of horror film, then you'll want to seek out The Horror on limited VHS and digital, I do believe now. I'll put links down below. If you have seen The Horror, please let me know what your thoughts were on this interesting film. I think it is a good ease into some indie horror if you're looking at getting into it. Production value was great in here and not distracting at all. Good audio, and the writing was decent as well. So check it out. Love to hear your thoughts. I appreciate every single one of you out there. We're that close to 1,000 subscribers. Want to hit that by July, our 10th anniversary. Can only do that with your help. Appreciate you all. And until next time, keep that ticket stub.